dive into today's episode, I just want to remind you to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us. It helps us grow, reach more amazing learners like you, and keep bringing you fresh and fun content every week. So don't forget, like, subscribe, and let's keep this journey going strong. Hello, you wonderful word explorers, and welcome to another episode of Idiom Insights. I'm Emma, and I am so excited to be your guide today as we navigate the fascinating map of the English language, uncovering some real hidden gems.
And I'm Jack, your co-pilot on this linguistic adventure, here to make sure we don't get lost in translation and to add a little bit of fun along the way. It's great to be back here with all of you, our brilliant listeners. Every episode feels like a new discovery, doesn't it, Emma?
It absolutely does, Jack. And today's journey is particularly interesting. We're going to be looking at 4 idioms that revolve around themes of judgment, responsibility, and outcomes. These are phrases you might hear in a courtroom, in an office, or even at the family dinner table. They are incredibly useful for expressing some quite complex situations in a very neat, packaged way.
That sounds fantastic. So what treasures have we unearthed for this episode of Idiom Insights? I'm ready to hear them. I hope our listeners are too. Let's not keep them in suspense any longer.
All right. Today, we are diving into 4 powerful phrases. We'll start with something that sounds very grand and historical, a Daniel come to judgment. Then we'll discuss a phrase that nobody ever wants to have said about them, carry the can. After that, we'll explore the dramatic and slightly scary idea of having to face the music. And to finish on a positive and triumphant note, we'll celebrate with the idiom, pass with flying colors.
Wow, that's quite a range of emotions in just 4 phrases, from wisdom and blame to consequences and success. Before we get into our first idiom, a quick reminder to all of you listening. If you enjoy exploring English with us, please take a moment to hit that like or heart button. And if you want to join us for every new episode, be sure to subscribe or follow Idiom Insights on your favorite podcast platform. It helps us a lot and ensures you never miss out.
That's right. Thank you for your support. Now, let's get started. Our first idiom of the day is a Daniel come to judgment. Jack, this one sounds like it has a story behind it.
It certainly does, Emma. It's a bit of a classic. This phrase comes from Shakespeare's play, The Merchant of Venice. But Shakespeare himself was referencing the biblical story of Daniel. In the story, Daniel was a young man who showed incredible wisdom and made a very clever and fair judgment when no one else could. So when you say someone is a Daniel come to judgment, you are saying they are incredibly wise, perceptive, and fair in their decision-making, like a perfect judge.
That's a wonderful explanation. It paints such a clear picture. You're essentially paying someone a very high compliment, acknowledging their wisdom in a difficult situation. But what I find interesting is that it can also be used sarcastically, can't it? As if you're rolling your eyes at someone who is being a little too self-important or acting like they know everything.
Oh, absolutely. The tone of your voice is key here. Imagine your friend who has never cooked a meal in his life tastes your soup and says, with a very serious face, "It needs just a touch more oregano and a hint of paprika." You might turn to your other friend and whisper, well, a Daniel come to judgment," with a little smirk. You're humorously pointing out that he's acting like a world-class chef.
That's a perfect example of the sarcastic usage. It's so versatile. But let's hear how it can be used in a more sincere way. We have a clip here of a conversation between our friends, Mia and Mark. They seem to be in the middle of a family debate. Let's listen.
I still think we should get a German Shepherd. They are loyal, great guard dogs, and I've always wanted one.
But Mark, our apartment is tiny. A big dog like that needs a yard to run in. It wouldn't be fair to the dog. We've been going back and forth on this for weeks.
I know, but a small dog just doesn't feel the same. What did your grandfather say when you asked him? He's had dogs his whole life. Huh.
He listened to both of us. He said we should start by fostering a medium-sized rescue dog for a month. That way, we see if we can handle the responsibility and the apartment size before making a permanent decision.
That is actually a brilliant idea. It's fair to everyone and to the dog. Well, what can I say? A Daniel come to judgment. He solved it in 2 minutes.
I love that. You can really hear in Mark's voice that he genuinely respects the grandfather's decision. He wasn't being sarcastic at all. The grandfather provided a wise, simple solution to a problem that seemed complicated.
Exactly. It was a perfect compromise. He didn't just pick a side, he found a third way that addressed both Mia's concerns about space and Mark's desire for a dog. He was the wise judge in their small family court, a brilliant use of the idiom. Now, we'd love to hear from you, our listeners. Have you ever witnessed someone make a surprisingly wise decision? Tell us in the comments about a time you saw a Daniel come to judgment.
Wonderful! Now, let's move on to our second idiom for this episode of Idiom Insights. This one is quite different. It is carry the can.
Oof, carry the can. This one does not sound like fun, Emma. It sounds like you're stuck doing the cleanup after a party.
That's a very good way of putting it, Jack. To carry the can means to take the blame or accept the responsibility for something that has gone wrong, especially when it wasn't entirely your fault. You are the one who is left to face the negative consequences, the one who gets into trouble, even if other people were also involved in the mistake.
The classic scapegoat. It happens so often in workplaces. A team project fails, and instead of the whole team or the manager taking responsibility, one person is chosen, or volunteers, to take all the blame. They are the one who has to explain the failure to the big boss. They are left carrying the can. It really captures that feeling of unfairness and isolation.
It truly does. The image is so strong. I imagine a group of people sharing something from a can, and when it's empty, one person is just left holding it. The evidence of what happened. They didn't consume everything themselves, but they're the one holding the rubbish at the end. It often implies that others have escaped their share of the blame.
Let's listen to a situation where this idiom might come up. Here are Mia and Mark again, and it sounds like they're talking about a stressful situation at work.
I just feel so bad for David in the marketing department. Have you heard?
About the new product launch? I heard the campaign didn't do very well in its first week. Is it that bad?
It's worse. The projections were way off, and upper management is furious. The thing is, our director, Mr. Harris, signed off on the whole strategy. He pushed for that slogan even when the team said it was weak.
So is Mr. Harris in trouble? It was his final call after all.
You would think so, but no. He's telling everyone that the creative team didn't execute his vision properly. He's making young David, the junior designer, carry the can for the entire failed campaign. David is the only one facing a formal warning. It's completely unfair.
Oh, that is a perfect and very sad example of carrying the can. Poor David. You can hear the injustice in Mia's voice. The decision was made by a superior, but the most junior person on the team is the one being punished.
It's a classic corporate story, unfortunately. David is now associated with the failure, while the person who is truly responsible has managed to step aside and point a finger. He's been left holding that empty, messy can. So, a question for our listeners. Have you ever had to carry the can for something? Or have you seen it happen to a colleague or friend? Share your stories with us. We'd be interested to read them.
Okay, moving on to the third idiom in our podcast today. This one follows logically from carrying the can. Once you are carrying that can, you often have to face the music.
Ah, face the music. It sounds like you're about to go on stage at a concert, but I have a feeling it's not that kind of music we're talking about. It's probably not a cheerful tune, is it?
You are absolutely right, Jack. It is rarely a cheerful tune. To face the music means to accept and deal with the criticism or punishment for something you have done. It's about confronting the unpleasant consequences of your actions. There's a sense of inevitability to it. You've made a mistake, you've been caught, and now the time has come to deal with the fallout. You can't run away from it anymore.
So it's that moment of truth. You broke the expensive vase, and you can hear your mom's car pulling into the driveway. You know you have to go out there and face the music. It's that feeling in your stomach when you know a difficult conversation or a bad outcome is coming, and you just have to stand there and take it.
Precisely. It's about taking responsibility, but it feels more active than carrying the can. Carrying the can be passive and unfair. Facing the music is often about your own actions. You did the thing, and now you must face the consequences. Let's hear what kind of trouble Mark has gotten himself into this time.
Oh no. Oh, this is not good.
Mark, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. What are you holding? Is that my car key?
Yes. And look, I am so sorry. I was trying to parallel park downtown and I misjudged the distance to the pole. There's a big, long scratch all the way down the passenger side door.
You scratched my car? Mark, I just had it polished.
I know, I feel terrible. There's no excuse. I was going to try and see if I could get it fixed before you noticed, but it It's too obvious. I just have to face the music. How much do you think it will cost to repair? I'll pay for all of it, of course.
Yikes, scratching your partner's car. That is definitely a time when you have to face the music. You can hear the resignation in his voice. He knows he's done wrong, and he knows he can't hide it. He's ready to accept the consequences, which in this case are Mia's anger and the cost of the repair.
Exactly. He admitted his mistake and is prepared to deal with the outcome. That is the essence of facing the music. It's not easy, but it is the responsible thing to do. We hope Mia forgave him eventually. So listeners, tell us about a time you had to face the music. What happened and how did you handle it? We're sure there are some brave stories out there.
And now, for the final idiom of our episode, we get to end on a wonderfully positive note. After all that blame and consequence, it's time for some success. Our last idiom is pass with flying colors.
Ah, what a beautiful, triumphant phrase. To pass with flying colors means to pass something, like a test, an exam, or an evaluation, with a very high score and great success. You didn't just pass, you did exceptionally well. The flying colors part gives it that extra flair of victory.
It really does. It makes me think of a fleet of ships returning home after a great victory at sea, with all their flags, their colors, flying proudly in the wind for everyone to see. It's a public and brilliant success. You don't just quietly pass, you pass in a way that is impressive and obvious to everyone.
I love that imagery, Jack. It perfectly captures the celebratory feeling. You can use it for academic tests, a driving test, a job interview, a performance review. Any situation where you are being evaluated and you do an amazing job. It's the complete opposite of facing the music.
Let's hope Mia has better luck than Mark did. Let's listen in on one last conversation between them. It sounds like Mia was waiting for some important news.
So, don't keep me in suspense. Did you get the email from the certification board? You've been studying for that project management exam for months.
I did. It came in about an hour ago. I was actually too nervous to open it right away. I made a cup of tea first and took a few deep breaths.
And what did it say? Did you pass? You worked so hard for it.
I did better than pass, Mark. Look at this score, 98%.
98? That's incredible. You didn't just pass, you passed with flying colors. I am so proud of you. We have to go out and celebrate tonight.
That is just the best feeling, isn't it? All that hard work paying off. You can hear the relief and excitement in Mia's voice, and Mark's response is perfect. She didn't just scrape by, her success was outstanding. She passed with flying colors.
A fantastic end to our idiom exploration today. It's a great phrase to use to congratulate someone and really emphasize how well they did. So, tell us in the comments, listeners, what is something you have passed with flying colors? A test? A challenge? A presentation? We want to celebrate your successes with you.
What a wonderful set of idioms we've explored today in this episode of Idiom Insights. We've covered quite a lot of ground.
We certainly have. We started with the wisdom of 𝑬𝒏𝒈𝒍𝒊𝒔𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒄𝒕, recognizing someone's fair and clever decision-making.
Then we felt the unfair weight of responsibility with carry the can for when someone is left with all the blame.
We braced ourselves for the inevitable consequences when it was time to face the music after making a mistake.
And finally, we celebrated a brilliant and outstanding success with the triumphant phrase, pass with flying colors.
That's 4 more fantastic tools for your English language toolkit. Please don't be shy about using them. Try to slip one into a conversation this week and see how it feels. The more you use them, the more natural they will become.
Absolutely. And if you enjoyed learning with us today and you found this episode helpful, we would be so grateful if you would leave us a like or a 5-star review. And to make sure you catch our next linguistic adventure, please hit that subscribe or follow button on whatever platform you're using.
Thank you all so much for tuning in and being a part of our community. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep it insightful.
Goodbye for now, everyone.